808s and Joysticks with Tom Stone and Tairell Hayward-Brown.
Welcome to 808s and Joysticks, the show that bridges the gap between games, music, season, and pop culture. I'm Tairell, and joining me today, as always, is Tom.
Yeah, and welcome to show 53. We're here to provide you with some entertainment whilst the world has gone into chaos. We've got a few things to speak about. Relevant to obviously, the virus that's currently spreading throughout the world. Don't want to say any names, but that does mean that E3 has been cancelled this year, along with a lot of other events. Comic-Cons and stuff like that have started to be cancelled as well. But good news, because we have the internet, it does mean that some companies are going to be doing digital streams following the cancellation, which means that we're still going to basically get the E3 we know and love, but just in a digital form, which is great, really. It means that whilst this stuff is going on, it doesn't really stop too much of what we're going to find out. Xbox and Ubisoft have already announced that they will be doing digital events, hosting their own digital events.
Well, they had to, really. Essentially, Xbox's this was going to be Xbox's time to unveil the Series X machine. I'm assuming anyway, and I think that they obviously thought, wow, well, E3 is gone. That is our massive last platform for Xbox. Usually, where they like to shine throughout the year, like E3 is their massive moment to shine. Whereas Nintendo and PlayStation have managed to break off and try and do other things throughout the year in order to, put shine on their console or the services and games that they're going to be releasing in the future. And I felt like maybe this is the problem that Xbox has created for themselves. They don't really know how to do something like this. I feel like it won't really be that great of a digital event. Like, I just feel like the kind of company that Xbox is, there'd just be a lot of bells and whistles on it, a lot of like music maybe, and just influencers and celebrities and shit in there, and I just feel like I don't really want to see that. Ubisoft would definitely do something like that. Like, come on, they're constantly, every year we start with a Just Dance montage. Like,
this year, does it mean that we won't get a Just Dance montage there?
Yeah, we're just gonna have it on live stream. It's just so annoying. Like, it just doesn't make me feel good, because I just feel like if this is gonna be the way forward, we're just gonna have like, essentially, like, and excuse me, like, bastardized versions of the Nintendo Direct for every single company, and they're all just going to do it in their own way, and it's not going to be as effective, and it's not going to be as good as the Nintendo Directs usually are, or how PlayStation State of Plays have gotten better in the future, which we were very, very skeptical of those when they first came out, and we had a lot of criticism for the State of Plays, because we expected them to just be like Nintendo Directs, but PlayStation have managed to find a way how to change the format a little bit to, display their games in the, the way how Sony would. So I am looking forward to seeing if Xbox can try and do something good with this digital event. But I'm not looking forward to Ubisoft, because I just know it's going to be a train wreck.
I don't know. I think a lot of the content we see anyway is digital.
Yeah, it is. Especially,
it's just a stage performance. But
think about the moments.
You're gonna have this difference.
Think about the moments leading up to E3, especially last year. Like, when we did our coverage, you was away in America, and we essentially covered E3 after. Like, I was holding it down and like doing notes and whatever, and we was talking about games and whatnot. And a lot of trailers and stuff were just releasing online, so we got a chance to both experience those trailers, regardless if you was in America or on holiday and I was still in England. We both managed to still look at the same trailers and stuff, because they just released them days before E3, the actual event, began. So you're right, really, Tom. Like, everything is a lot more digital now. They don't really care about world premiering certain trailers, because the trailer either comes out about 10 minutes before the show starts, or it's leaked, or it comes out around the same time, or no one really cares. People are doing the same trailer for, two different shows. I don't think it really matters anymore, especially with the whole concept of crossplay and companies, meeting together and doing partnerships. And it's probably been the most free time for games at the moment. Like, how all these companies and corporations and, developers are all coming together to try and unify gaming as a platform. I think it's very interesting to see how everything will follow. Like, how will we see these trailers? How many collaborations will come about following all of this?
I'm not sure. I think that realistically, like we've just said, everything was digital anyway. Like you said, the trailers you could get a lot of the time. A lot of this stuff is available straight after anyway, which is fine. I don't agree with the point that Nintendo Directs are necessarily the only thing that can be directs. I think everyone can host a digital event, and I don't think it matters whether they're good or not.
I agree.
I don't think PlayStation State of Plays have been good at all. Really, there's not been much in them. They're a bit shorter. And they possibly didn't expect to do certain things, but I think that the big thing about this is, there's been question marks over E3 anyway for a good year or two now, and this thing's come along, everything's had to be cancelled, and now this does mean that people are going to have to host digital events. But this also means that this is the first time we're not going to have E3 in a long time, as we know it. But it also means that leads to a future where we might not have an E3, because people would boycott an E3 anyway. So now people can do their own thing. Is this just going to lead to no E3 and people just doing their own events throughout the year, sort of mainly around the summer, all in one sort of area?
I think E3 is very grateful that something like this has actually happened, because I think they were looking for a way out of this event. We already had creative directors of the show stepping down, so something was obviously up with E3. We had Jeff Keighley pulling out. We had other notable people saying that they are not going to be appearing at E3. We had YouTubers saying that they're not going to be going to E3. They may be around Los Angeles around E3, but they will not be attending the actual E3 event, which is telling, compared to back in the day. That's all we did, isn't it, Tom? Like, we used to like to watch our favorite YouTubers, or, see our favorite YouTubers do commentary while they were at the E3 and see their takes and stuff and see their point of views from when they were in the show. And now it's kind of turned to the opposite, where people are just not going to be actually attending the main show and will probably much rather go to these smaller, I can't even say they're smaller, because even EA's event isn't no small thing anymore, and neither is Xbox's, and neither was, PlayStation, or even, the much more smaller ones like, Digital Devolver. Like, they manage to smash E3 every year with their type of presentation that they have. And, some people even tried to say that, they enjoyed the PC gaming show. Don't know how they did. Some people do. There's something to, for everyone. And, this is how E3 has become now. It's just become a lot more segmented. And yeah, I feel like we'll just see a lot more, maybe, specified shows from companies, which is what we're leading to see anyway now.
Mm-hmm. And basically, E3 have come out and said they're looking at ways to digitize what they're doing as well. But like I said, everyone else is going to do their own separate thing, and
there's no reason.
That still sort of happened anyway, but I think that there needs to be some sort of reason to have this, whether it's E3 or not. There's going to be some sort of week where, in the middle of the year, there's this week where everyone just sort of goes, okay, we're all coming together to announce our new stuff and sort of show off a little bit.
Exactly.
I think it's important that the industry has that still.
We still need
and people
that.
Don't go off and do stuff throughout the year.
We still do need E3. E3 is like our event. Like it meant so much to me growing up. E3 did. I was so excited for it, and then as the years got on, we got older, and and I just felt like E3 itself as well also kind of just got older and kind of just got a little bit more slower and a little bit more left behind with the times and a little bit dated. And then you're just kind of looking at E3 like, wow, like how did a show that started all of this kind of, expo stuff become probably one of them, I don't know what the word quite for it is. You know what I'm trying to say though, innit? Like, someone who started something now has been left behind in the past. Like, it shouldn't have been that way. Do you know what I mean? It should have never been like this. You shouldn't have other shows like PAX and GDC even. Like, these are other shows that have managed to create a better environment and, premiere and platform, not just the developers, but games as well. Whereas I feel like E3 is starting to focus much more on the consumer, and then it starts to take away from what we're really there for, and that's to really see about games in action and, see development. Yeah, playing games is cool on the side, but to try and push that form so much and then kind of, forget about what the true essence of E3 is and not manage to, kind of support developers and press people and people who are there to actually spread this information out and tell people about their games. I just feel like E3 just got lost in the consumerism, lost in the the money of trying to see we can charge $200 to these guys and they'll line up in a queue to play Animal Crossing. Yeah, we just scam them. That's essentially what it is. Whenever people say they went to E3, they get to play about 2 games and they're disappointed because they thought they're going to play all these games.
Just point out that E3's only been publicly accessible for a year or 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same as any sort of show that you do go to. There's always a supply and demand, and the supply is always less than the demand. And I think that's always intentionally like that because it does build that market and upkeeps that hype there. But yeah, okay, it could be looked at as not fair and stuff, and that's fine. But that's just sort of how it is. I do think moving into a more digital world, we're going to see the way Nintendo are doing things, where we're seeing the emergence of demos coming back again, and all these digital events. So it's going to sort of lower down that side of it as well, which in turn does lower down that social aspect of gaming to a degree. But then technically, if everyone's in a live stream, you're still getting that sort of social aspect there instead, and you can all play the demo. And it's going to be interesting again to see how it moves forward. But I do think we're going to see significantly less people or companies go into these events now and maybe just thinking we can do this by ourselves over the internet, and it also saves us a hell of a lot of money. So it's going to be interesting. We'd have to just wait and see on that. There's not really much else we can do. We don't know too much details about what's actually going to be going on yet.
And it's interesting, like I remember you were saying like, oh yeah, like E3 has only been opened up to the public in like the last few years. It is really interesting that you said that, because like they've been trying to get the public into E3 since 2009 by the scenes of it, but they just can't. They couldn't figure out a way how to have it open to the public and to have it open to developers and press. They just couldn't figure out a way how to run the event, which is very kind of like alarming. Like, why couldn't they figure out a way how to give certain days for just press and developers and then give out certain days for the public, which would have worked a lot better? But it seems like they just couldn't figure out a way how to do it. They're just saying that there was just, lack of stuff, they just didn't know how to, handle situations, and it's kind of a little bit, it just sums up the ESA as a whole, as a company. It's just a bit of a mess. Like, they still haven't even commented on their leak on the website of all these people's addresses and things like that. Like, they don't really seem to care that much. But yeah, E3 2021, I guess that's going to probably be the next big one, I guess.
If it's a thing.
Yeah, if it is a thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, Remember, like, I don't know, man. E3. I'm just disappointed. I hope to more for it. I guess. Hope to more for it. But yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
A game we might see.
But I say let's move on to some
at E3 2021.
Wow, let's move on to some. We might see it this year. Who the hell knows? Let's move on to some real.
I doubt that.
I wouldn't even say it's positive news. I would say it's peculiar news, in my opinion, because I could have never seen this coming. If you know, I just could have never seen this coming. I can at the same time, but not how everything is playing out right now. I don't know how much information you know about this story, but you know I know a lot of information about this story.
We should point out, because no one knows what story we're on about at the moment.
Oh yeah, well,
because you just
well, Silent Hill's coming back, likely on the PS5 as a soft reboot by Sony. Yeah,
and it's interesting because I understand Sony are working with Konami and Kojima to fix this relationship issue, but what is actually going to be here? Because I can't see Konami giving up the Silent Hill stuff.
Well, that's exactly what I thought as well. I thought, well, Konami's not just going to start giving up IPs, but then once I'm hearing about the original Silent Hill director and writer and composer and creature designer is all apparently involved in the background, and Sony Interactive Japan Studios involved, which is the makers behind Blood Siren Curse, which is one of the most scariest games on the PS3. Also, some got former members from the original Team Silent in there. I think Konami would be stupid not to take this deal. They're obviously thinking to themselves like, well, we can't make the game because we don't have any of the original developers anymore. So if we work with Sony, who apparently has managed to thaw the ice between Kojima and Konami now, we could possibly see multiple projects in the future with Konami and Sony, with Kojima at the helm again. But who knows? Because Sony apparently has offered Kojima full creative freedom once again for this next game. And we know he's creating a horror game already as his next title. So for this to be Silent Hills, I wouldn't even put it past Konami. They're a business at the end of the day, Tom. I think everyone, especially, I don't know how Japanese culture works, but I feel like if something is said or an apology has happened, I feel like things can be quashed.
But is it like, so Konami is still going to own all the IP for Silent Hill?
Yeah,
they're basically.
I wonder what kind of deal
to Sony.
I wonder what kind of deal this is. I wonder if they're going to actually sell Sony the IP rights or the licensing for a few years, so it's a timed exclusive, and then the game has to be released on other platforms. Or if Konami is going to be the publisher for the game, or if Sony is going to be the publisher. I don't know who's going to do it. All we know is that the production team is going to be Kojima. Apparently, Junta Ito is back on board again. Del Toro is probably back on board. Norman Reedus is working with Kojima again on a new project. All the Team Silent people. It's all suggesting that Silent Hills is being made. Konami, you know, we had a leak anyway. Not even really a leak. Tyler had a meeting with somebody who represents Konami, and they said Silent Hill's coming out. So something's coming.
Yeah, well, I think, like I said, I think something's
coming. Yeah,
on the horizon.
How do you feel about this, Tom? You know how I feel about this, but like, how would you feel, just as a fan of the demo, a fan of Konami for their, you know, for PES, but also a person on, I don't know. I guess it's like on a person on like the side of wanting to just see games being created. Like, how do you feel about this collaboration?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Since PT came out, obviously, nearly 6 years ago now. I think everyone's been looking forward to this game and waiting for something to come of it, and nothing ever has. We got Death Stranding, which wasn't really Silent Hills. It's a completely different game, really. But it's definitely something people want. It's definitely something that I think is needed. I think that Resident Evil had its reboot with the remakes, and that did really well, and it's really good, and it's something that like the horror genre is sort of gone away a little bit, hasn't it? And there's not been much in it to a degree. And something like this Silent Hills game that we were meant to see, which looked very story driven, very scary, very sort of creepy. And the mechanics in it at the time were incredible, and I'm sure we're going to get the same thing again. But stuff like that, I think we definitely miss having something like that. And no one's really done anything since we got PT that's really took that genre on and sort of grabbed it by the neck, which is a bit upsetting. Resident Evil 7, obviously a really good game. Like, that was a good game for when it came out, and they did the VR aspect of it. But there's not been anything that's been majorly groundbreaking in the horror genre over the last 5 years. If you can think of anything that has been, then feel free to shout up. But I can't think of anything that's been groundbreaking in the horror genre for the last 5 years. It's all seemed to be reboots of other stuff. We had maybe Until Dawn, which was a story-driven interactive game as such, and then Man of Medan, which obviously had the online co-op stuff, but I wouldn't call them groundbreaking as games. I wouldn't say the mechanics in that were groundbreaking. I'd say that's an interactive game.
The new Prey, I think. Apparently that was apparently a pretty good horror. Like, it was like a horror game, and people say that game's pretty good. But I don't really know because I haven't played it fully. But it seems like it's a horror game. So, and it had like a different aspect about it, because I think I don't know if you didn't die or you was like an alien or something, so you could like body jump or something. I don't know. It was weird. So maybe that was something a little bit different. And yeah, apart from remakes and reboots of games, like, can't really class Resident Evil 2, even though it's really good. And Resident Evil 3 is probably going to be even better. Yeah, I could probably see this trend of like old games being rebooted, because that's what is going to work. The people can't even create an original IP anymore. They go back to old games that they can rely on. That is a good, strong foundation for an IP. And I guess they can change it enough for it to be classed as a new game and look like groundbreaking, like Final Fantasy 7. Like, the game is exactly the same as the PlayStation 1 game. All it has now is a different combat system, and the graphics are massive.
I don't know if it's exactly the same.
No, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but like in the make and the foundation of it, they didn't have to think of any story. They didn't have to think of anything to do with that. The world was already there. The world building is done. All they had to do is create a brand new mechanic system, which is taken from Final Fantasy 15. So really, essentially, they haven't changed anything about the game. This game has been in development for a very long time, and they haven't changed much about it. Like, yeah, it has a new graphical system. That's it. It's
still a brand new game.
No, it's a brand new game. I'm not saying it's not a brand new game, because the combat system is different, but I'm saying the story, the way the game plays, even, down to the dialogue and stuff like that, it's still the same. Like, the same dialogue, the same everything. Like, there is massive parts about it that haven't needed to be thought about in order to make a game. So when people say that these games are like amazing and they're very innovative, they're not very innovative, because they're a game copied from an old IP. That's why sometimes when these reboots and remakes come out, I feel like, yeah, it just seems like nobody really wants to try and make something that is going to be even more impressive than these games. Like, why is Square Enix focusing on this at the moment?
Yeah, no, I understand that. Square also have other stuff in
yeah, they got other stuff in the works.
The Avengers game.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not being worked on by the same team. It's being made by Crystal Dynamics, so like, it's not really the same kind of Square's just publishing it. So like Square are working on Final Fantasy in it. They're not allowing anybody else to work on that game. Same way how they wouldn't allow anyone to work on Kingdom Hearts either. And Kingdom Hearts 3, like that's another game where like a lot of people have a lot of mixed reception about that game. Like I think it's the story that must be more than anything that have like riled people up. But like some people didn't really like Kingdom Hearts 3. I still haven't played the game yet. I refuse to comment on it because I really enjoy the games. I don't really look into it too much about the story. It's Disney and Final Fantasy characters. I don't really know what you expect.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? That's why one of the most too convoluted universes out there. Like, what do you expect from that game?
I've not played 3 yet, but yeah, that is the case. Just on that as well. Did you see the recent news that Disney are going to be allowing people to use their IP more in video games?
Yeah,
which I thought is really interesting.
Doesn't really surprise me, seeing as how I feel like Disney really want to
how they own everything.
Yeah, well, not really how they own everything. I was just seeing as like Disney closed down their game studios and their game wing, and I just think that was really silly. But I felt like at the same time it's not, because they were probably thinking they're Disney. Why the hell are we got our own game studio? Let's just lease them out to these companies. Like we've already got EA handling Star Wars.
Yeah. So what successful games do you know that Disney have ever made though? Because there's not many. You've got maybe like the old platformers.
Like Disney, Epic Mickey was really good. That was a very good game.
Okay,
that was quite impressive for the time. I remember when that came out, people really loved that game, especially the Nintendo Wii one.
Did you have that on Wii?
My uncle Dad's had it on Wii, so like I used to play it with him all the time when I was a kid. Like we used to just it was just like a Disney game. I don't really know what to expect from it. You used to paint things, didn't you? Was it called Epic of Two Tales of Epic Mickey or something like that? Was there a sequel?
There was one. There was a 1 and a 2. Yeah.
I don't really remember the Power of 2. That's what it's called. The Power of 2. I think people really enjoyed that. I think even some people tried to get a number 3 out of it on the Wii U, but it never got enough success, I guess. Yeah, game still goes for full price right now, £40. So it's not like a.
Yeah. Okay. So one game, but apart from that, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that they've made that was like everything they've sort of tried to do. Like when they bought out, was it Disney Infinity with the toys? That sort of flopped and they killed that off. And I mean, I thought I
remember that really
good from them.
About that, but that's because it was fighting against Skylanders at the same time. That's why.
Yeah, but you think that like
Disney would win
Skylanders, where you've got like Spyro,
yeah,
and all these random made up people, or Disney where you've got everything you can think of from Disney and Pixar that you can use.
They didn't even have that.
You'd think Disney would win.
They had Marvel IPs in the game as well. They had everything in there. Like the game,
they did.
They had Star Wars IPs because they just owned Star Wars at that time. They had everything in there. It was probably the ultimate game of that kind of like statue when they started bringing out Amiibos, Disney Infinity, because they all had that technology that you could just use with the Wii U in it, where you could scan the Amiibo, you could scan the Infinity thing or Skylander or whatever, and it went into the game, didn't it? So that was the last game that was created by the Disney Studios. Well, this last Mickey Mouse game was a remake of an old Sega game. And then a remake of
did they do
they haven't really made anything. Oh, Fantasia, Music Involved. That they did that for the Xbox One. This is just Disney.
Yeah,
this is just Disney video games, though. This is not really.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Disney have also. So Disney have been loaning their IP out for years to other people anyway, but also making their own in-house stuff, and so Infinity was sort of that. But
that's it. Disney Interactive Studios.
It's a bit of a shame because Disney, to be fair to them, and I know you're going to say big Disney fan, but we spoke about it before. I think we spoke about it last time, but they were very influential in a lot of like technology stuff. 'Cause they have the money to do the research and advanced stuff, and they do that in their theme parks as well. But maybe they're cutting down the game and focusing more on the streaming, because at the end of the day, there's people that make games better, and there's people that understand technology better. You know, if Amazon and Google and everyone else wants to get involved in gaming, then Disney are probably better off saying, okay, you go and do that, and we'll just focus on making this streaming service the best, so we can take over that market. Like, I think that's their plan. Because, yeah, they've not released anything outstanding, you could say.
No.
Anything that's kept going, like they've always had to sort of cut back. And I mean, EA did a good job with Jedi Fallen Order. We have the Avengers game coming out. Yes, it's not technically that, but Disney own Marvel, so they can license that. So we're gonna have a few things like that. What I'd like to see, though, is, you know, things like different people getting access to Star Wars license, different people getting access to Marvel license. I'd like, you know, even things like a standalone, I don't know, like Captain America game or something, like just something a bit different. I think we have the possibility for stuff like that to happen now.
Well, I think the standalone Captain America game,
a Pirates of the Caribbean RPG.
Oh, nah, bun that, man. Like, I just think things like that, they need to just stop doing that, because they do that a lot. They've already tried to do 2 Pirates of the Caribbean massive multiplayer online experiences, and I think them doing it as a standalone RPG just wouldn't work in Disney's head. So they will try and do it as an online service. And that's just trash. There's too many pirate games that are online already. We don't need another one.
I mean, what I mean is like wholly original, using the IP of Pirates of the Caribbean, but, you know, an original piece of work, sort of like Jedi Fallen Order was. A new single player RPG, new story, set in the Pirates of the Caribbean universe. So it's got that little bit of link to the backstory, but it's not just like, here's a remake of the movie, like a movie to video game thing that we used to always see.
So how would you want that to be
similar to how this new Harry Potter RPG is coming along? Use the stuff in that universe. Have you been living under a rock? Do you not know about this Harry Potter RPG?
Not really, no.
You don't know? Okay, well, you're in for some good news, because it's basically, by the looks of it, a brand new RPG. Do you remember the old Harry Potter games?
Yeah, I remember them.
Like, they're really good games. Like, they're probably the best film to game games I've ever played.
That Lord of the Rings was really good as well. They had really good game out.
Yeah,
they were both done. To be honest, doesn't surprise me, because they were both done by Warner Brothers Interactive, which did make good games, like on the PlayStation 2 and stuff like that. Still
do make good games. Shadow of Mordor was a good game.
It's a good game, but obviously, you know, the second game wasn't as good. I'm really disappointed how they handled that.
It was still a good game.
It was a grind fest, Tom, so I can't call that a good game.
It was a grind fest, but the first one was a grind fest. I was just a lot younger and had more time.
Nah, the first one wasn't as... Come on, Tom, that wasn't much as a grind fest. It was fun. Like, that was so fun. Like, the grinds that they had in the second game was, wow. That just wasn't needed.
Yeah, I still haven't completed the second game because of the fact that you have to kill that dragon in the city and save the city from the dragon, and I tried that about 100 times, and in the end I just gave up because
you can't.
I don't have time to fight dragons.
It's just long, man.
I got other shit to do.
Exactly. The other game was nothing like that. Anyway, we're getting off the point. I know you sent me an article. I'm already reading about it here. There was some footage put up on YouTube. Somebody's found it on Reddit, and then Warner Brothers Interactive.
Yeah, this was ages ago. If you've never seen the footage,
I'm looking at some of the footage now. The
footage is incredibly good. for what it would be, it's what you sort of thought that game was when you were a kid. When you go back and play it, you're like, this was awful, but actually a good game in the same sense. Like,
this is in.
But yeah, apparently people are going to be arriving in their 5th year at Hogwarts. Can become one of 8 wizard types. You can choose a path of good or evil. Choose which house you want to be in, what friends you want to have by their side. You can freely explore the world.
This is also weird because we were just talking about Disney Infinity, yeah, and you're talking about large-scale projects. It's being worked on by Avalanche Games, which was the company that made Disney Infinity.
Yeah, they did.
And it was sold to Warner Brothers Interactive. And this is their next project. They haven't made a game since 2017. Their last game was Cars 3. So I have no idea like what this is going to be like. But yeah, I'm guessing I must have been working on this for quite a while. If this is what it's going to be like. Apparently they had plans to do the Batman game, Rocksteady's new game, and the Harry Potter game was supposed to be announced at E3. So yeah, so I'm guessing Harry Potter did the RP. I just wonder why now. It just seems a bit out the blue, but I ain't complaining. I'll check it out.
I don't know. We had this. They started doing like a lot more stuff with Harry Potter Mobile. Anyway, we've seen that come along. I think they probably had good reaction from that. We had
the screenshots look fire.
What was the company that did Pokemon Go?
Niantic.
So Niantic did basically Harry Potter Go, whatever it was called, and I think that had some good reaction as well. And obviously we've got the Cursed Child, the Fantastic Beast stuff going on, so they're just expanding that universe to use it as an IP.
Well, we already knew that was going to happen anyway. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point, J.K. Rowling doesn't have a single clue what's going on with her IPs anymore. Like, she just makes money. So, the Harry Potter IP just it serves itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those IPs now where, like, I think if you could do whatever you want with it, it would just. It has a core fan base that will follow it, just like Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. I didn't know that. But yeah, let's move on to even some other news again as well. About Ghost of Tsushima. I'm guessing you've seen the brand new trailer as well. How sick is this game, Tom?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I must say, it reminded me. I don't know what it reminded me of, really. A little bit of when we see. So, if you remember Westworld season 2, which we'll speak about later on, but Westworld season 2, when they go to, if you haven't watched it, spoilers. But where they go to Shogun World, and there's that whole sort of Shogun World rundown stuff like that. Reminded me a little bit of that, like just the absolute warfare that goes on. But I'm very excited for this game. Not only does it look like really good, but you also have you have a grappling hook, you have a katana, you have a horse, you have an army, maybe. There's loads of things. Open world setting, lone samurai, last remaining defenders in Tsushima, and the last survivor of your clan. Like it's set up to be an absolutely perfect samurai game.
So it's probably going to be like it just looks like a film. That's why I'm just like I enjoy samurai films and like kung fu films and feudal things that take place in feudal Japan, like China. Like I just love stuff like this. Like it looks like somebody's created like a massive long epic masterpiece of like 6 hours of like just a samurai film. The atmosphere, the music, the lighting, it's all right. Like to think this has come from like the developers of Infamous, it's just crazy.
But those games were very good,
and they pushed the boundaries on consoles at the time. Like Infamous 1 and 2 was very impressive games that came out on the PlayStation 3. We thought, wow, like this is amazing. Look at the fast-paced movement of like in a sandbox world. where, you know, you can have challenges, and, you know, it created much more than just a sandbox world. It was amazing. And then,
so
carry on.
Sorry, I was just going to say what gives me sort of confidence about this project is that the combat in that was relatively good.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a good samurai game, the combat has to be good. So I've got good faith that that's going to you know, really play a part in this game as well.
Yeah, and the new Infamous game on the PlayStation 4 was really good as well. I really enjoyed that Infamous, and the little DLC spin-off they did as well, like as a standalone, that was really good as well. I was really impressed with that game, and I'm glad that they've just managed to make a game outside of the Infamous realm, and it looks so like enjoyable. It just looks absolutely crazy. So yeah, I can't wait for that. 26th of June 2020. Yeah, PlayStation 4 probably definitely will be on the PlayStation 5 as well. Can't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, oh yeah, and the quick tidbit as well, Death Stranding and Half-Life as well. Did you see that?
Yeah, I didn't really care too much.
I didn't really care too much either. I just thought, yeah, it's cool. Like, just Kojima just flexing once again in it. We all know he's like the industry's, like, everyone's friend. So like, he probably just like called up Gabe and was like, "Yo, we're putting Half-Life shit in the game." Gabe was kind of like, "Cool, we'll do that. Drop it on Steam." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." That's it. So yeah,
it makes sense. How do you get PC gamers to buy a game? Put
Half-Life shit in it. There we go, in it. Like, makes sense. Kojima understands in it. He understands the vibes. He's giving it to people. He's not trying to. I don't think he's charging them for it. I think you just get the Half-Life stuff when you buy it on PC. So yeah, there we go. Death Stranding coming out on PC. Looks amazing, by the way. I can imagine it looking even crazier on PC, and I think there's probably definitely going to be some type of mod support, so we're going to see some weird shit with that game in the future. Even though, you know, there's already weird shit in the game, so.
Yeah, speaking of Steam, actually, I've got a little fact. There was nearly 20 million people using Steam the other day, which is a record.
Wow.
Yeah, so coronavirus has caused a lot of people to get on their PCs and record a peak count of 19,728,000 playing Steam all at once. 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning, which isn't too bad. But yeah, it does show that there's a lot of people at the moment that are in self-isolation, a lot of people that are unaware of what's going on, a lot of people that are panicking. For that, I'd say check your local government or the World Health Organization all the time for the best information. Don't listen to the news or the media. And it's good to see that even in times like this, that games are giving people that sort of getaway or entertainment value that they deserve. And a lot of people are sort of turning to that as well, which it's nice to see. That's what they were built for.
And some people are saying that, like, this is like a time for where people are tackling their backlog, which is, yeah, it's a good time. Like, in this time, you know, that we're being held down by this virus. I think we need to take time to do something that you enjoy. Work on a hobby, tackle that backlog that's been staring at you. You know, like, just do the things that you're gonna enjoy in it, basically. And yeah, this is essentially that's all we can do, really. Do it, yeah, Tom. I just seen you do the note here, and I see you take out Google Stadia is not doing well still, by the way, everyone. Tom's trying to hide the truth from everyone. He just got rid of it on the notes. He's trying to hide the truth from us all, guys.
I've moved it to next.
We don't need to talk about it next show. I just wanted to say that Stadia still ain't doing good. I want everyone to remember Tom's comments in it about how Stadia was going to do good in it and how it ain't.
I never said it was going to be amazing. I said it's going to be the thing that starts it off.
And that's no, that is not even close.
Think it's going to be the best service.
It's not even close to what you was even talking about. This is going to be the one that starts it off, like a domino effect. Get out of here, Tom.
I mean, I said the technology is good, but I don't think the service is great.
They had a mass outage the other day in Europe.
Yeah, that happens all the time with some of the best cloud technology, though.
Yeah, the best cloud. Yeah, but Google.
Amazon stuff comes off all the time. Microsoft stuff comes off. Microsoft.
They were promising people. They were promising people things, and they still haven't delivered it. Though they can't do that. That's not fair. Regardless of them if this is a service, Google cannot do that. They cannot promise people true 4K, and it don't even work. Why are they saying that?
Yeah,
Why are they saying stupid
that.
stuff like that? I just think it's just really they should just pack it up, man. I don't think Stadia's doing well. They're giving it away for free as well, so I'm trying to pick up a free 3 months of it, see if it will work.
They are giving away 3 months for free.
So honestly, I was surprised you ain't tried it out. I thought you would by now.
I want to try it out. My internet's trash.
I think your internet's good enough. It's supposed to be like, what, 45, they said? Anything over 45 is supposed to be good enough?
Nah, it's going to be trash.
Shit. Well, yeah, I'm just sad because, yeah, I did want it to work. The things you was telling me about the capabilities the things that they were doing, especially about how you do, you know about cloud. I was looking forward to seeing them doing something with it.
It will be successful as a thing, like a template going forward. I'm not saying Stadia will be successful, but I think that like Google wanted to be the first in there, and like I said, always anyway, that comes with the risk, and they showed that it's possible, but they might not have the infrastructure there ready, or they're building on the back of it. But because they started off so lightly, by having the infrastructure there to test it out and stuff like that, but not having any games or anything, that again backfired because they're saying only certain people could do certain things. It's how it always works anyway, but I do think that like they showed that it's very possible, and their technology, to be fair to them, it's an amazing technology.
They need to sort,
and I wouldn't take anything away from.
They need to sort their pricing out though. That is something that really needs to be sorted out, because they can't charge full prices for games. They just can't. They can't do that. £50 for a game, and then if you want to pay for the Premier service on top of that to get 4K, and the 4K don't work on the game because apparently the publisher said it doesn't work, but Google Stadia themselves are not telling people that it's not going to be coming out in 4K. I think it's silly anyway about 4K. I don't really care about 4K in it. I know you don't care about 4K that much, but we were just talking about how it's not viable for everyone to do that yet. So even if you are offering that kind of service to someone, it should at least work to the person who's brought it for that. Do you know what I mean? Like I just don't think it's fair for them to treat it like YouTube, because they are treating it like YouTube.
It sort of can be though. The thing is, it depends on. I know the Doom thing's different, but it depends on, again, the person that's buying it, their connection, their peripherals, everything like that. You know, if they're buying 4K content, don't have a 4K TV, have an internet speed that's awful, you can't really blame Google for that.
No,
but okay, fair enough. If you do other stuff, it's one of those things, unfortunately, because you're building this. So this is the big difference between obviously your PC gaming and your console gaming. And now you've got your streaming gaming. Now, okay, you're doing that, but as a console gamer, you have the hardware built for you.
Yeah.
The games are optimized for that hardware. Yeah. And, you know, if your streaming's bad, you just moan about the companies having shit servers.
Yeah.
With Stadia, they could have the best servers going. Everything's made for their platform, optimized for their platform. But if your internet's shit, you blame them anyway, because that's how it works.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, you're just like, oh, it's not working. It's like, gotta blame. But no, if you're a person if a service isn't working on your console and you automatically just blame the server, if you don't go outside of your console, outside the game, and test the internet or test something else to see if that's working, and then make up a conclusion whether it's your internet or not, that's what I would do. I wouldn't just assume it's the service. I would assume, oh, okay, maybe the internet or the service might not be working. But then again, that's me. I don't know if other people are doing that, innit? And I don't know, the way how some people are, maybe people aren't doing that. Maybe they are just going ahead and blaming the service over the internet. But when there is, you know, mass outages and people who have all the right things. You know, their internet test is fine. Their monitors are 4K ready. You know, they've got enough refresh rate. You know, they're supposed to be able to run 60 FPS. If you have all those things in place and it still isn't delivering what you offer, how is Google just supposed to say, oh well, like that's it? Like I just dropped £100 on 2 games and pressed the £15 on top to get 4K, and you're gonna tell me oh well because the service is not working right now. That's not even if not even if the person didn't get the founders package, which was another 140 on top. That's just stupid.
That's what happens with a live service. I just think, if a live service goes down, a live service goes down. Exactly. They'll fix it, and then it will come back up again. But
I understand, but I just think that Google they just need to change their pricing and things like that. I just think going ahead as a service that they are, I just think that they're not going to be able to really be viable. Nobody I know really. When I speak about like people who play games and I speak about Stadia, nobody has any faith in that service. Like they have faith in other services, but they don't really have faith in Stadia. I think they've really they've really damaged themselves already from the get-go.
I don't necessarily think they damaged themselves as much as everyone else damaged themselves. We've seen with this virus anyway how the media and people's perception and word of mouth and that can just damage everyone into thinking that this is what is going to happen.
But come on now, Tom. Not really when Google is lying on stage saying that their service is going to pump out so much X amount of power and it's more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro and it has more graphical raw power than the Xbox One X.
Their service will be. It will be.
No, but they never said it will be, Tom. They said that will be on launch. You can't say that on stage to a bunch of people and then just say, oh, sorry, guys. It's not working the way how it's supposed to. You are lying to everyone, and I'm not gonna give this massive corporation
their
service
will have more capability than the consoles.
But
the problem
at the moment it's showing not to be.
You've got to stream that data to someone else. That's the problem.
But why didn't they explain that to people more thoroughly then? They should have said that it's not going to be. Why is there input lag on the game? I'm not going to be playing a service where I'm expecting input lag, Tom. I shouldn't be expecting input lag on the game. I've got a console right here that can perform very well. Why would I play in another service and pay £50 to play Tomb Raider with input lag? That's just stupid. That really, going forward as a service, that shouldn't happen. When I was playing PlayStation Now, I didn't have any input lag.
Yeah, but that's... You never had any input lag playing PlayStation?
I didn't have any input lag. Fair enough, my PlayStation was plugged into the Ethernet.
What were you playing?
I was playing Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance.
A PS3 version?
Yeah, a PS3 game.
Yeah, but that's the difference. You're not streaming something that is as intensive.
Yeah,
I know that sounds stupid, but have you tried streaming a PS4 game?
I haven't tried streaming a PS4 game or anything like that. I haven't tried streaming a PS4 game or anything like that, but I'm playing a PlayStation 3 game. I didn't have to spend full price or £20 to pay for the game or pay anything for the game on top because it just comes with the service, and it worked. Like Stadia said, all these things were supposed to be coming forward. They have information. They are Google. They have, they've got the research there. They're telling us all these things that they can do with the system. They did beta tests and all sorts of things. Why doesn't it work how it's supposed to? Why is it only released on certain phones? Why has there been a roadmap released? They shouldn't have released the system, in my opinion. I don't think they should have released it. I understand what you're trying to say. They tried to get a foot.
I think they should have released it
like ahead of everyone else. They tried to show that they're going to be the market leaders eventually, maybe. But I just think that way that they've done it, it would never make me ever get Google Stadia. I would never.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. Yeah. I said that they would have, by doing what they've done, they potentially could harm themselves. I would have probably made more of a disclaimer about it. Maybe gave it like a beta title or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because then if people have a complaint, you have that backup of just going, it's a beta.
Exactly.
That's what Red Dead did with their online. It's been in beta for I don't know how long. Oh yeah, it's just a beta.
Yeah, of course.
But it doesn't work. Yeah, because it's a beta.
It's the same thing that the games have done.
But it's not. It's still a service that's live, but they've just put beta on the end of it, and people just go, oh, it's okay, it's a beta.
Yeah, it's not version 1.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
So there's different sides to it. You could say they could go bullshit like Rockstar, or they keep it as it is, but no one's going to buy into a beta at that price range anyway. So they sort of had to, and they had to test it with a public audience as well, and with people on board to test it. And people on board putting games on it won't want to if it's a beta, and obviously people don't want to now. But it's one of those things, like it's a risk. You go into that market as the first ever person that's doing that publicly. It's a risk. And their technology is incredibly good. Their input lag, yes, okay, there's input lag, but you're going to expect that from a streaming service. Their input lag is very, very minimal. Like, again, depending on your connection and depending on where the servers are located to your location, because that was also included in your connection. There's lots of things that go on behind the scenes that will impact that, and they've done a good job. I think we'll see when their free tier
I do understand.
Out,
I do understand that, but I feel
it.
like you also a lot of the time like to think of the perspective of a developer and like somebody who works in cloud. I don't think you really think about the consumer just doesn't give a shit about any of that, and they're not gonna read about it. They don't care. They want to play the game. They want the game to work. They don't want any problems. They don't want it. Oh, so
yeah, but
what's this message about a server? Or why is the controller not working? A person's not going to think about that, are they? They're just going to think it's not working. We might think that though.
I don't think Google advertised it as being as, you know, like a console, but better, and it's going to work perfectly fine, because they did state that you have to get the controller, otherwise you may get input lag.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm taking off what you said before. This is when we first initially was discussing Google Stadia. You said it wasn't built for people who are hardcore gamers or anything like that. It was built for people who wanted to have more of a pick up and play experience on their mobile device or on a system that's not strong enough. And I'm saying that the type of person that would be someone who doesn't take gaming very seriously, and is going to be someone casual. They are not going to care if Google can't get their cloud servers right, if their input lag isn't 1-for-1. They're going to see that this is a system that apparently they can play Tomb Raider without having to buy a PlayStation or a PC, and it's going to work in 4K apparently. Do you know what I mean though, Tom?
But I also said that, yes, that's the case, but I said what they're doing with the Founders Edition and stuff like that, where it is at the moment, I said it's meant for people that understand the technology side of it at the moment, hence why the price range is probably so high. And then the free tier comes out, because I think they want people that understand it to test it. Yeah. And I think that you've got all these people on YouTube, or like Young Ye, for example. Yeah. I don't think Young Ye has a fucking clue about development. Like, all respect to him, but I don't think he has a clue about development.
No, what's it called? I wouldn't say
just like to moan.
I wouldn't say Young Ye like doesn't really have knowledge about development. He might, I don't know, and I don't think he knows much about cloud, and I don't think he knows about what goes into the back end of it. But we have to treat Young Ye as somebody who is a consumer and is a reviewer of a product, not a reviewer of the services behind it and what happens behind it. So I guess not to throw Young Ye a bail or anything like that, because I do understand some of the things that he does react to. He can really. Tom, you don't want no smoke. He can have a knee-jerk reaction to certain things sometimes, and can be a little bit shouty when it comes to certain situations. And I think that sometimes we do need to, you know, look into the fact that this is a new service, and you know there's so much new technology at play here that is, you know, essentially being tested on the world. And
this is what sort of saying that I think that's where the public backlash has come from in that regard, that people just sort of look at that and go, these people don't like it, and then the people that watch that go, they don't like it, it's crap, and then it backfires. And that's all good and fine. That's
like with
if you're in a position where you're doing a review of something like that on YouTube, I feel like you should at least educate yourself a little bit on the background of the product and something like that before. Because this is something that is brand new. The technology is really good. Yeah, okay, it doesn't work as intended. That's fine. Yeah. But like, you shouldn't just go, it's crap, and just keep going on about it's crap. Because if you want this to improve as it is, you have to support it as much as you can, and realize that it's an early service. This is a live service that's going to go out to people worldwide. Yeah. People worldwide are going to be able to play this stuff without having to have stuff in front of them.
I guess I understand, and I do agree with your point. I do see, just me, I do see from the standpoint of the developers, and I do see how about this technology, and I know it is something temperamental. Like, believe me, I do understand all of that. I'm just looking, from the consumer perspective, and the perspective of just somebody who might not have a clue or care in it about things like this, which a lot of people don't in it. Like, let's be real, a lot of people don't really care about things like this. They just want things to work in it. That's why a lot of people are online. They just complain when their internet's down, or if, say for example, their mobile network's not working. Like, there's a lot of other things at play. Like, it comes from somewhere. Like, if that mobile network thing gets knocked over by the wind or a tree, that's not anybody's fault necessarily. That's just, it's been knocked over. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's things that people just don't necessarily understand and don't really care about, because it's not something that they effectively have to deal with themselves. But then when it does affect them, they're starting to say, oh, well, what has happened? Oh, this is just crap service. Why are they not fixing it? Surely they can just put it back up. I do understand where you're coming from, Tom. I do understand.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think that you're entitled to do that. But I think early adoption of a service like Google, you should be wary of that. Mainly by yourself. Don't listen to them. I feel like they've been, like you said, they've been I can't think of the word, but basically like a victim of their own marketing, because they said it was going to be great and didn't release with a lot of stuff. And also I think they've been a victim of their name being linked to that product, because if people think Google, they think the internet, which sounds really bad, because Google is not the internet.
No, it's not.
Google's just a search engine.
It's just a search engine. Well, I would
Google
say
does not host the whole internet.
I would say Google now is what I would just call one of the biggest digital corporations. It's just a digital corporation at this point. It's like in the line with the Amazon, Google, Amazon, Disney, Apple. Those are like some of the big, those are the big four in it, really. I'm trying to think, is there a fifth? Probably a bank or something. It's probably like the fifth. Microsoft, I can't forget Microsoft. Microsoft is massive. Like, forget the Xbox. It's much bigger than Sony. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it is a massive company, Microsoft is. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I hope for it to be a better service in the future. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. I probably will try Stadia out. Like, I just don't like the way it's been treating people who have adopted. I feel sorry for people who did invest that initial 140 in it, or however much it was, because I do think they were maybe tricked, because they feel like they are tricked. But then you're confusing me, because you're telling me that these should be people who should understand the technology. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just confused.
I feel that if you I feel bad for them, but I also feel like if you're buying into something brand new like that, you should definitely do research on it. And
a lot of the time,
that's why I think Google have been a victim of their own name linked to it as well. Because this is Stadia, but everyone's going, it's Google Stadia, and everyone goes, oh, okay, Google. I know Google. I use Google all the time. Google must be good. Google hosts the whole internet.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't. They're not good. So it's like, but what really sort of comes of it? Will it be a success? I don't know. I think it'll still be around. I think this free thing, when it comes along for free, I think that's going to be a big game changer. It's not going to necessarily throw waves everywhere, but I just think people will be like, okay, it's free, I'll give it a try now. Like, why not? I know people can with the free 3 months at the moment, but no one's going to bother getting that. But when you can do it in your browser though for free, certain games, people will be like, okay, why not? I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
By then, they may have improved stuff. You don't know. Like, it's all testing that they need to keep doing and improving. I know. It's constantly improving.
Apparently, at the moment, there is 0 Mac support, and there's no future for it at the moment. But that's just new information. As I said, the service, they said they're going to run it like YouTube, so I guess maybe Mac support might come in the next few years. I don't know, innit? Like, I'm just confused as a service. I will just keep watching it. I have been watching over it. I've been looking at all sides. I've been going on the Stadia subreddit, because my God, there is some stories on there. And yeah, I've just been kind of keeping an eye on it, because it's interesting. It's an interesting service. because it is the first of its kind. And I was blown away when they first did that reveal and they said you could play a game straight from the YouTube advert. I thought, wow, that's crazy. That's going to be the future. Like, you could play a game from a YouTube advert and it plays. I'm like, wow, like, I never thought games would ever get that close to being just playable. So I am very interested in what they are doing. But anyway, moving on to just the last little quick thing. Well, I don't really... The BAFTA Awards is going to be online, like, I guess so. And yeah, do you want to just quick talk about how Reggie Fils-Aimé's new job is being on the GameStop board of directors?
I don't really get this.
I have no idea.
I do and I don't. Like, okay, fair enough. Who's probably a good person to bring in to save GameStop? Probably him, because he did a good job at Nintendo. I don't think he's going to be able to save GameStop. I think GameStop's fucked. I think... the only way... as nice as I can say
the only way GameStop can really, really ever, like, come back is if they, like, really go online and create a massively great online service, like, that offers not just games, but, like, good peripherals, and, you know, they offer ways and new experiences to offer to gamers, new exclusive products to offer to them, team up with merch people and start doing loot boxes in a better way. Like, they could do a great digital entity. I think the brick and mortar stores are dying, and I don't see anyone going inside of a shop anymore. We don't have GameStop. We have Game, which is very similar to GameStop. And that's probably the only thing we have now that will sell games, except for CX, which is a second-hand video game and service. And, well, video game, it's a service, sells phones. I don't really know what America has as their alternative for that.
GameStop.
No,
it's like...
But,
yeah,
I mean, like, where you sell phones. And I think they do have something like that over there too. But Game and GameStop are probably the most two closest things where, you got guys in there who look like they play games, and there's just games in there, and it's usually priced quite highly. You trade a game, you're probably going to get about £4 for it. It's not very great. Like, it's pretty much the same, except for Game has somehow managed to thrive a little bit in the UK still. It did nearly die at one point. I remember when games were getting closed. I remember that was a dark time, and then it got brought out. So yeah, I don't really know what's the point of putting Reggie on. Reggie was the president of Nintendo. I don't really even see how this is going to make GameStop become better.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what he did, but I do. I mean, realistically, he did take Nintendo from that company that they were, this old company, to being like probably one of the most modern companies that you think of now. Because they were, I know that they were modern, but like they got stuck in that Wii era, didn't they? And he sort of took them out of that and started doing the directs and stuff and become a spokesperson. Alright, maybe that's what GameStop need, just someone a bit more like that, a bit more sort of customer facing that can talk a bit more. Either way, the coronavirus is not going to give them much hope that it's going to stay much longer, because people definitely aren't going to their stores at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what comes of it. I'm not really sure what is going to come of it.
I guess Reggie, I don't know if they are also saying this like they're employing somebody with the connects as well. Like, will Reggie be able to create better relationships with certain companies, especially Nintendo and GameStop together, in order to create brand new exclusive experiences for Nintendo fans and players? Maybe it could be that maybe they needed somebody who has good relationships with people, because it seems like Reggie does have a good relationship with games companies and businesses. Like, he's just been invited to so many things. Like, everybody wants a piece of Reggie at the moment. Like, so he's currently a lecturer as well at Cornell University, talking about business management and leadership skills. So he's doing a lot of stuff right now. So I'm guessing maybe Reggie just kind of wants to try and do his best to just kind of better gaming and business as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's possible.
Yeah, but and in the flip side of this as well, Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Like, Bill's done. No more Bill on Microsoft, which is wow. I don't even know what to say.
He's not been.
He hasn't been involved
for a long time. To be fair, he's been on the board, but he's not been heavily involved. He's more focused on his foundations.
Yeah, Bill has definitely said for a long time he's pretty much been focused on his philanthropic efforts, probably since like in Windows XP. I'm pretty sure that was the last Windows he properly had a hold on. I don't think he worked on any of the Windows after that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure XP was one of the last operating systems he personally worked on. He just oversees.
You can tell.
He just exactly. He just well, Windows 10 is a friggin' shambles right now. No wonder he stepped down. Like, Windows 10, every like day there is like an update about Windows 10 and how like something's broke. Something's been fixed again. Something's broke. Something's been fixed again. There is a new leak. There's a new hole in the Windows 10 security. Please update. I'm like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, but that's to be fair, that's normal.
It is normal
considering the times we live in now.
To be honest,
compared to XP.
It's like
it's normal.
It's like normal, but like, I don't know, like it's hard like coming off like the MacBook and going onto Windows. Windows has so many updates, man. Like, it's just so it just slows down the system so much. Like, there's so much bloatware.
Mac has security issues as well.
Yeah. Mac does have security issues. But I'm not putting it past MacBook like to not have security issues.
But yeah, Windows is, I don't know, it's just
bloated.
A bit different. But again, we're not a podcast that talks about operating software. Not yet, anyway. Who knows?
It's an OS.
Yeah, could do that. No, we'll move on to films and TV.
Bridging the gap between music and gaming. 808s and Joysticks.com.
And there's some certain things that I want to discuss here. When this show goes live, when it's being aired, wherever you're listening to it, Westworld Season 3 will have premiered. And I'm excited for that. I rewatched Season 2 the other week and forgot how good it was. And now I just can't wait until Season 3 because Season 3 just looks crazy. Like, I'm excited for this. I watched the interview with Evan Rachel Wood and what's his name out of Breaking Bad. I can't remember his name. He's in it anyway. But yeah, basically, it looks like Dolores is coming to the real world now, and shit's about to get real because AI is fighting AI, and I can't wait. Like, it just looks. I wouldn't have expected this from season 1, but I'm excited for what is to come.
Isn't Thingy in it? What's it called? Aaron Paul's in it.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah,
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. Bloody, what's he called in BoJack? Todd.
Yeah, it's
and
Todd.
He's Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad as well.
Jesse and Breaking Bad, yeah.
Yeah, what's called in Westworld is they said that they've done something different again for this next season. Now it's a different type of.
Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer. It looks fascinating. Like, I don't really remember much of season 2 either, so I have to go back. I know I didn't watch the finale because I kind of stopped watching it. I don't think I liked where it was going. Like, the story was cool, and I liked how they explained the maze, and it was that kind of part of the story was all going to come to an end. But yeah, season 3 looks incredible. Like, going outside and seeing the futuristic landscapes, like we seen that a lot more in season 2 when they were showing like flashbacks and the kind of small parts of the outside world, how it was kind of like basically a Blade Runner type world, just like how life is today, but just a little bit more modernized, I guess. A bit like the buildings are a little bit more like larger and like scope, and like there's robots, and I would say it's like a not too distant future world. So it just looks really good. I just like how they've just took it outside of the park now, because I feel like they can do a lot more with it. And there's also like a chance for us to return to the park as well, or return to other possible parks that are in the world as well, and maybe we'll see other sides of the world too. I'm excited. Yeah, I am excited for Westworld. We've always sung high praises for the show, and I know that season 2 was.
I'm telling people to watch
season
it.
2 was
like,
a bit of a slog.
If you've never seen, it wasn't.
I felt like it was, man. I felt like, because that's why you stopped watching it essentially in the first place, because I think you watched a few episodes.
So different to season 1.
Yeah, you watched a few episodes and you was like, I'm not enjoying it as much. And I was watching it and I was like, yo, this is hard. Like, they've kicked the action into gear. I was like, people just getting killed left, right, and center. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, everyone was turning out to be hosts. Like, it was just sick. But then when it got towards the ending and the story got a little bit more convoluted, I started to feel like they're being a little bit too philosophical. There's too much the meaning of life stuff going on. I was like, I don't know if this is turning into like a little bit more of like a spiritual thing, like Lost, and like the story's just going to get really weird, or how are they going to tie this back up? And the I've read an article actually talking about how is it Lisa Nolan and Jonathan Nolan? Is that the two people who work on the show?
Possibly.
They were talking about how they wanted to essentially create something different for season 3, and they looked at the criticism of season 2, because apparently season 2 wasn't regarded very well in comparison to season 1 because of the difference in pacing and story. So with season 3, are getting something very much different from season 1 and 2, and you can see it in all the trailers going ahead. I'm very excited, very excited for Westworld 3.
Did you ever finish season 2?
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't watch the final episode.
Okay, you need to, because I'd take back what I said. Like, season 2 was really good. If you follow the story through to the end, like, it's really good. But it's not as good as season 1, because I mean it's second season syndrome, isn't it? Everyone has that. Except for with Atlanta, that season 2 was sick. but that doesn't really
follow a story.
Rely too much on the story that much. True. Like it does, but it doesn't. Like it's not about the whereas Westworld, it's about the story, and because season 1 was, the story was so perfect. Like, I don't think you could have made that season any better. Because you had all the conspiracy theories, no one knew who anyone was. Going into season 2, you knew who people were.
Exactly.
And you were like, oh, I sort of know that. Yeah, and I knew that because
such
I
and
sort
such,
of knew that. And it's like, yeah, okay, I didn't. Oh yeah, I seen that coming. I seen that. And then you watched, like, I don't know, you watched to the end and you're like, okay, yeah, like, probably didn't see that coming, but fuck, like, yeah, maybe I did, like. But then it's like, oh shit, season 3's coming. Oh fuck, what's gonna happen now? Like, it's a really good build up to that.
Yeah.
And the problem is they had to sort of introduce those little things, I think, that were different, like you do with every season 2. Stranger Things is a good example. Season 2, they had some crap in that no one wanted. That sounds really harsh, but there's episodes
you're on
that
Reddit,
like,
you're on Reddit, man, just hating on some of those episodes in that season.
No, it's you teasing content to try and expand that IP, and you try and expand that world, and sometimes people don't like it, sometimes they do, and because it's such a change from the genre. And after season 1 of Westworld, there's not a lot you can really do, because, to be fair, that story played out perfectly from beginning to end, and then you're like, shit, where does it go now? Like, and there's not written. The only place it could go was season 2.
There's only so many times that there's only so long they could have done the Man in Black whole thing in it, like, you know, chasing him, and then like the maze. They couldn't have done the maze thing for 3 seasons. That would have just been insufferable. So
yeah, well, if you watch season 2, finish season 2, because it's the last few episodes that get like really good.
Yeah, I did.
That's where it starts to pick back up again.
I've only not watched the last episode. I have seen all of it about the Ark, where there's like the server system, everything about the people who are doing the mass suicide, everything. I've seen all of that. It's really weird, and also that story as well. You have to take it with a pinch of salt because like certain parts of the story are not in time order. That's the one thing as well about that season. It's weird. Like you think certain things are happening at the same time, but it's not. It'll be happening at different times of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I loved that about it as well.
Yeah,
I did like that it still followed that a little bit.
Yeah,
but it all on a whole, when you look at it and it all comes back round, you're sort of like, oh, okay, yeah. I think it was maybe because I watched it in a condensed period that it made more sense to me, because obviously over a long period it probably didn't. And also at that time, it was a time when you had things like the World Cup on, the summer, other things were going on in your life, and you just sort of like, I don't have the time to watch that every week or keep up with it in my head. But in a condensed format, it was really good. Again, possibly one of the best things that I've seen. Not as strong as season 1, but towards the end, again, it really picked back up again, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. And then season 3, it's going to be drastically different. Bear this in mind, it's going to be drastically different, but it opens up that season to allow the show to do whatever it wants to a degree.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, we could explore different like parks. Maybe there might be other parks around the world. I know that's still just one park in one area of the world.
You need to watch the ending of season 2 before you watch season 3. Trust me, because I can't say anything for what you're saying at the moment. But you need to...
It just sounds like it sounds like yes, there is other parks. I know there is other parks. There is not other parks. No. This is the one park then.
Well, there's other parks.
Yeah, there's other parks, but like
you haven't seen what happens at the end of season 2, so I can't tell you.
Alright, cool then.
I can't tell you what's gonna happen in season 3.
I'll have to watch the last episode
because. You need to watch the last episode, because I can't even say it, because it'll ruin the surprise.
Nah, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it.
You probably know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I probably have an idea.
It's better to watch it.
Like, you're not gonna confirm or deny what it is, but I probably would know. Yeah, let's. Well, there's not really much else. There's some other information here. We'll just discuss that. A few films have been delayed due to
more than a few.
Delayed due to the virus, and
that will not be named because we're not sponsored.
It's been moved, and Fast and Furious has been pushed back like mad far. Like, it was supposed to be coming out in like May 22nd. Now it's been pushed back to 2021. That just sounds like the film was never done in the first place. Like, why would they even push it back that far?
Don't know. Probably because everyone else is going to be coming out at certain points, aren't they?
Yeah. And James has been pushed back to the 11th of November, the 12th of November, and the 25th in the US. They're pushing these films back. Like, it's like they're almost expecting. There's so many films that have been delayed. Why they do it?
Because people can't go out and go to the cinema. Pointless releasing it at the cinema, and this peak is gonna last for.
This is gonna last for a long time. This is gonna fuck up so many things for everyone.
But okay, well, it's not. It doesn't matter. But it's basically they're not gonna make the return on what they spent on the movie, so they'll delay it until they get the return back. That's what they're doing. It's not that the world is in chaos, but it's just that these people want their money. They're gonna wait until everyone can give them their money.
I'm not saying the world is in chaos. I'm just saying it's just gonna fuck up things. Like, everything's gonna get pushed back, and then the whole world's just gonna get pushed back. We're all just gonna be fucking watching shit later and later now. Like, It's just long.
The only thing that hasn't got pushed back yet Game releases are perfectly fine. And music releases.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
Oh, we don't worry about this. We're getting some of our best music to date within this era. Oh my gosh, what's called it? We ain't even going to talk about the music. We will get to that not long. Not long until we get to the music. I just go down a list because a lot of these haven't even got new dates. So Mulan's been delayed indefinitely. I don't give a shit about that film anyway. A Quiet Place Part 2 has been delayed indefinitely. Kind of care about that film, even though I ain't really watched number 1 fully, but number 2 trailer looked really cool, so I'm a bit sad about that. The Lovebirds, Issa Rae, Kumail Nanjiani, so it's come out for April 3rd. That's been delayed. New Mutants has been delayed for the 6th time. That film just never it's not seeing the light of day.
It will. It was meant to come out April 3rd. Like, it's not far away, but it is going to have to be pushed back.
Tom, that film was done about 2 to 3 years ago. Have you seen Jonathan? Jonathan from Stranger Things looks like Stranger Things season 1 in the film. It's so old. The film is so old. Like, I don't know why they're still putting it out. Like, it's gonna look dated.
Yeah, there's not too much else. You got like Antlers, which is a Searchlight horror title. Blue Story, which is Paramount's gang warfare film, and Peter Rabbit 2, which no one cares about.
Oh,
it was meant to come out like literally in 10 days, but
Blue Story. Oh, okay. Blue Story obviously hasn't come out in thingy in America yet, I guess.
Not by the looks of it, no.
Oh, okay.
But people find a way. Other stuff is like all the TV shows are starting to get delayed. So Disney Marvel have paused production on their stuff due to coronavirus.
Oh, of course they have.
I mean, it makes sense.
Whoa, Tom, we're not supposed to be saying the name of the virus.
That's fine.
People are getting that's another thing as well. Why are people getting censored on YouTube about this? Come on, YouTube, man, stop being so stupid.
Who knows?
Is it really needed?
Not really. I mean, if the media are allowed to say it, why is everyone else not? Like,
let's call it.
Fuck the media.
Let's call it by its official name, COVID-19. It's not funny. It's not. I don't know. It's just because I just why are people like, some people are like, yeah, how are you feeling about COVID-19? Stop calling it that. You're not a scientist. Don't call it that. Like, why are you calling it by its official scientific name? Just call it coronavirus, innit? Like, I don't really understand. But yes, anyway, I digress. Marvel shows, which ones have been cancelled or delayed now, Tom? What's going on?
It's like Loki. Well, it's basically everything. Everything that you can think of is either getting delayed or paused in production, including football, sports, everything. They even delayed the netball today. Like, cancelled the netball.
No, not the net.
No sports.
Not the netball.
There's nothing else on, and then they've delayed. Like, if people at Sky are listening, I don't know why I'm paying for Sky Sports, because you've got nothing on. Like, what am I paying for? It's
just Joe. It's like I like a video of like Stephen A and like the empty stadium. Stephen A looked crazed out of his mind. He does not know what to do. Like, Stephen A is just there, just like commentating on nothing. Like, I just have no idea what is the point of anybody going to work at these empty arenas and stadiums at this point. It's just stupid. Like, I just have you seen the clips of wrestling? Like, no, WWE with the empty stadiums, Tom. Oh my god, it's hilarious. Like John Cena on like this other random wrestler, like still doing the storyline, but there's no one in the stadium. It's probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever watched. It's like a play. It's like they're doing like a play on stage. It without the cheering and like everyone else being involved, it just seems really weird. Like, it's so quiet. There's no music. There's no nothing. It's just them two.
Yeah, there's. I mean, if we go down the list of things that have been cancelled, there's every Marvel movie in production basically, and TV show. Mission Impossible 7, Jurassic Park, the Batman was halted production for 2 weeks. Disney's live action Little Mermaid, the Peter Pan and Wendy, Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley, Disney Shrunk, Marvel's Shang-Chi, other things, the Elvis biopic, Grey's Anatomy, things like Grey's Anatomy, Walking Dead, Amazon's Wheel of Time and Carnival Row Season 2's all Apple TV Plus shows.
Atlanta.
Netflix has suspended production on all of its TV shows and movies in the US and Canada, including Stranger Things 4. Basically anything you can think of that isn't in this list will probably be in this list.
All of the Law and Order shits have been halted. Do you know how many shows that is?
All accelerated
that's like
production.
15. That's so many shows. Like they've got so many shows. That's
35.
Oh my god, they have 35 shows.
That's what NBC has suspended or accelerated production.
Oh my god.
That's not just all Law and Order, but it mainly is
Law and Order. And then Warner Brothers. We ain't even got to talk about Warner Brothers because they've just ceased all things like Supernatural, Batwoman, The Flash, Riverdale, Lucifer. Like they have so many TV shows that they've run. Arrow, all them ones there. Like I even know. And then you got Viacom, CBS, which is CBS and Viacom. So that's like MTV, Paramount, Showtime. That's a lot of events.
They have not commented on specific shows though, so no real
indication of what's going on in it. Production on globe-trotting reality TV shows The Amazing Race and Survivor was previously suspended. So yeah, so like reality TV shows that are like across the seas, like so many shows that are like to do with like documentaries and live action shows, live TV shows, live TV events. Just expect a lot of that stuff to just be done. Disneyland has been closed for the first time in a while.
Universal as well.
Yeah, Disney apparently reportedly they're gonna make a $325,000 loss per day.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
But that's nothing.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's nothing to them, but it's gonna be nothing to them if it gets worse and it's out of bounds for a year. Now I'm joking. Obviously, it's not gonna happen like that. But
I don't think that's possible.
But Tom, the way how, and we are not an apocalypse bloody show. Like what's good, but the way how people are like taking things out of perspective, it's creating more of a problem than a solution. Do you know what I mean? So you know what people can be like, man. They get crazy over stuff. There's no stuff in the stores right now as we speak. What's the point? Like it's just stupid. Anyway, we're not here to dwell on stuff.
A bit of positive news though. Frozen 2 is now available on Disney Plus. It was originally intended to be released in June or July on the service, but Disney basically said, fuck it, let's release it now for fun and joy. And fair play to them actually, because that's like basically like it's 4 months since it got released in the cinemas. They've now released it on their own streaming service. I know that it's probably been pushed forward due to the ongoing doom that everyone's feeling, but it's nice to see them just releasing something and saying like, here you go, like just have this. Here's a new thing you can watch at home.
Tom, you're so easily pleased. Like
and if you're in the UK, Disney Plus is going to be available on March 24th, I think. So get buying.
No, don't get buying. We don't advertise by Disney. We're not endorsed by them. Don't buy anything.
Or if you're on Disney Card Trader, hit me up.
Wow, I can't believe you just said that. Anyway, moving on to music. New releases. Albums. We really don't have much else to say this show because yeah, there is news, but like a lot of it's all just plagued by whatever was going on at the moment. Obviously, everyone just stay safe, self-isolate, wash your hands, do all of them kind of things that they're telling you. Don't go in public places. and stop going into mass gatherings.
Don't tell people what to do. Tell them to go to the official website of the health organization and read their information.
Yeah, well, we
are not liable.
Oh, I'm not liable. I'm just saying, like, obviously don't just don't be an idiot. And if you wasn't washing your hands before, you're nasty anyway. So albums, it's true. The amount of people I'm seeing, Tom, that weren't washing their hands before, nasty. Albums. Eternally Take by Lil Uzi.
All it took was a global pandemic for me to learn to wash my hands.
It did. Well, that's all it took for certain people. Nasty asses.
Bridging the gap between music and gaming. 808s and Joysticks.com.
Hey, what's called it? Eternally Take, Deluxe Edition, Lil Uzi Vert versus the World 2 by Lil Uzi Vert. Now, this album
what about
is
the first one.
No, I was gonna say now this album is massively. It's long. It's a very long project. It already had something like, I think it was 19 tracks in the first one, Eternally Take, and then the Deluxe Edition doubled up into a double album, which was Lil Uzi Vert versus the World 2 and Eternally Take, all on one disc. I really love it. I can't really say that, like, you know, it's just really enjoyable music. Uzi just brought some really enjoyable songs. It's got some really strong efforts on there, like sprinkled in there. You know, Uzi's not the rapper guy. He's not got lots of bars. I'm not going there to get lots of lyrical breakdowns from Lil Uzi Vert. I'm there to enjoy myself and dance. So, like, and listen to good beats and flows and hear him talk about the latest fashion. That's what I want out of Uzi, and that's what I got out of him. So I am impressed with this project so far. I love that he's got one feature on there by Sid. It was great. I loved it. I love the project, and then I love Lil Uzi Vert versus the World 2 because that seemed to be the more feature-heavy side of the project, and it had like 21 Savage on there, a Future, and Doug's on 2 tracks, Gunna, Nav. So yeah, Young Nudie. So yeah, I enjoyed the project as it is. Do not expect bars going into a Lil Uzi Vert project. I hate that people think that this is, like, you could bash someone for listening to this guy. He's amazing and he sells better than all your favorites. So get out of here. That's my take on the Eternally Take.
My take's very limited. It's Lil Uzi. Like, it's alright.
Yeah, exactly. I respect that.
I'm not a massive. I listen to it. Like, I listen to it, and it's decent. It's good. But I'm not a massive Lil Uzi fan,
yeah.
So I'm not like
blown away or anything. Like I was just been anticipating this project for a long time in it. So when it has finally come out, I was really excited to listen to it. And obviously, it's a lot of music, so I am glad to get a lot of music from this artist I enjoy. So yeah, I think it was really cool. Moving on as well, we had Heaven or Hell by Don Toliver. I did enjoy this project, but I was a little bit sad that there was like 4 to 5 tracks on there that I've already heard in full a lot of times. So I was a little bit disappointed that, you know, we only really got like 5 to 6.
Some of the best tracks.
Yeah, some of the best tracks were ones we've already heard, like No Idea, Can't Feel My Legs, you know, like Had Enough. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these are songs that we've...
That's Euphoria.
These are songs that we've already sat with and kind of thought, yeah, these are hard. Now we're getting them on his... Yeah, like, I just think that for his debut effort, I expected a little bit more, but this isn't his debut album. I got some clarification about that yesterday. I did some research. This is just another project / mixtape. So I'm expecting more from his debut album then. Moving on to a monumental album here. Been waiting for this album since about 2008/9. Exhibit C, probably one of the best rap songs of all time. Jay Electronica finally dropped his debut album, which I would arguably call a duet album with Jay-Z, because Jay-Z is on every song. So yeah, I was impressed with the production. I'm impressed with Jay Electronica and the bars on there. Not impressed that there was a few songs on there that are about 10 years old on the project. There's one song on there particular that was released in 2009 that is on there in its original form. I kind of am a little bit pissed off that he did that, because I think that we've been waiting for this project for so long. It's a bit of a cop out to put a 10-year-old song on there that we've already heard.
It's only 10 tracks.
Exactly. I was and it seems like a lot of the songs on there have been made quite a while ago, and it's kind of like,
were you impressed with this?
I wasn't impressed, but I was like, I think I was kind of like in awe at the fact that we was getting like Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, and all of this production and all of these bars and these references to times that were like 10 years ago, and like times when, you know, rap was in a different place. I was kind of like, whoa, this album would have really changed my life back in the day. But now I'm kind of like, yo, we've moved on musically, thematically, and kind of like the way we see music and the way we receive music. And I just felt like Jay Electronica just didn't really choose like the right time to release this album. I think he should have released this a long time ago. If not, he should have dropped this album not as his debut, because it's got a lot of Jay-Z on there to serve as a Jay-Z and Jay Electronica album. Rather than a Jay Electronica album. Some people are going as far as to say this is a Watch the Throne like type project. It's like Watch the Throne 2, and it is being compared to Watch the Throne in the same vein as the only way it can be compared is the fact that it's got Jay-Z on there rapping with somebody else. Jay-Z also did a collaboration album with R. Kelly. Are we gonna compare that to Watch the Throne? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Watch the Throne.
God, come on now, Tom. Come on, Tom. It's not funny. We can't laugh at shit like that. It's not. That was Tom. That was laughing at the sequential pedophilia of R. Kelly. And that was Tom.
You took that.
That was laughing at that, not me.
You took that out.
I didn't take that out of context. You just said Watch the Throne. What are we talking about then, Tom?
Well, we're watching the throne because no one's sitting on a throne. R. Kelly's song.
And why are we not sitting on it? What's wrong with R. Kelly?
Yeah, right, because he's a fucking weirdo.
Oh, that's what he is. He's a weirdo, is he, Tom?
Yeah. What? He's allowed to be a paedophile that's not convicted.
Well, he's R. Kelly is a different case. As I said, we never condone any of the actions of. I don't even call him R. Kelly, Robert Kelly.
I don't even think you have to state that.
I just do.
I don't think you have to.
I do every time.
Don't condone the
actions. Every time. I have to say we don't condone the actions of R. Kelly because I just don't. People just don't. Understand.
No one in the world condones the actions of R.
Kelly.
I find no one should.
Aunties on the internet, they think R. Kelly's still okay. But that's another conversation. We don't need to have that here. Chilombo.
Anyway, Jay Electronica's album. I enjoyed some of it. I thought some of it was complete trash. Yeah, and not complete trash, but sometimes I was listening to it, and I'm like, I can't actually tell what's going on in this song because there's so much shit that's going on. Like, I just felt like some of the songs are really, really good. And then you hear another one and you're just like, wait, like, is this the same album? Like, is this the same thing? Because, like, this has got, like, beats going over each other that don't, like, they're chopping into each other and shit. It doesn't make sense. Like, that was just my view on it. I've listened to it, like, maybe 2 or 3 times and I was just like, some of them songs, I was like, damn, it's giving me a headache. You know, when, like, you play your music in your car when you're little and your dad's there and they're like, turn the shit off. That's what I felt like. I was like, damn, like someone turn the shit off because it's giving me a headache. But that's just my review. That's what I felt for some of the songs. Some of the songs really good, but some of them, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, why they were like that, but yeah, it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I understand where you come from. I still needed a bit more time to sit with the project, and a few of the songs in there I kind of was feeling like a little bit meh about. Didn't really like the Travis Scott song. Thought it was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, have some paracetamol on standby for them headaches.
No, like it's difficult. It is either way. It's out there. Go and listen to it. I think by the time the next show wraps around, maybe I'll have a bit more of a perspective on it. So far I like the production and I like I like the rapping on it. I like just hearing from Jay Electronica finally in it, like in an official capacity. And I like Jay-Z's rap. Jay-Z raps way better than him on this album, though, hands down. So like, I just don't know why he had Jay-Z on there to wash him like this. So I just didn't understand from a debut album perspective. It makes no sense
because it's Wash the Throne, isn't it? Maybe this one's Wash the Throne.
Stop trying to get this joke off. It's not funny. Like, I'm not I'm not letting you have that Wash the Throne. No, it's not happening. Anyway, moving on. Like I've been trying to. Chilombo by Jay Electronica. I'm gonna keep it being with it. I ain't listen to the album. So
why are you not listening to the album?
Tenacious, man.
What the? Is this the same guy we're speaking to right now?
Yeah, it's just the whole. It's just I just don't believe in her music. It's the whole I'm into Big Sean and now we're broken up. Oh, now I love Big Sean and I'm like, what is the message of your music anymore? Then like, what is it all supposed to be about? Like, I don't want to hear you talk about Big Sean.
Fucking.
I'm
not even joking.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear you talk about Big.
It's always been about that, isn't it? Really.
No, Janae used to really talk about She used to talk about other things,
getting high, falling in
and
love,
being more
and having
and
sex.
being more like spiritual and stuff like that. But like, I understand. Like, I just felt like her music. I just felt like her music just got a little bit stagnant. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really rushing to like the like. I really liked her last album, but like, I don't know. I just felt like this one is just not really. I haven't really felt any of the songs that like were leading up. I didn't really like Pussy Fairy. I didn't really like.
Do you not?
Nah, it was just all right. Like I like the whole song is like I've already heard that song because that's actually an old song from her first debut album, and she's basically just redone the song again with Miguel and Ty Dolla $ign. So I was just kind of like, yeah. Like, it's cool, but like, why are you doing this? Like, I as I said, I have not listened to the whole album because I just haven't really been bothered to. So I will listen to it in my spare time.
I've not listened to all of it. I've just been listening to it. Like, I may have listened to all of it. I just put it on shuffle.
My sister's a massive Janae fan. She said it's good. So
it's all right. It is a good album. If you want something relaxing, then it's a more relaxing album than your typical music. It's got good features like Absol as usual. Her, Big Sean I think is on it because
of course,
obviously. And then you've got like Ty Dolla, Nas, like a few other people. John Legend, obviously. John Legend has to be on some sort of album like this. Like this is his sort of his.
No, it isn't his sort
area
of thing.
Expertise.
Oh my.
John Legend's always getting high and fucking and doing all that shit.
He probably is though. John is never. John is far from doing that.
Not something I can imagine.
John is far from doing that. Yo, moving on. I ain't talking about John Legend having sex and getting high. I'm not doing that. Happy to Be Here by Ant Clemens. Really good project. Sugar by Meg Thee Stallion.
We're not just glossing over.
Yeah, but Tom, we haven't got time, man. We've got things to get down the list, man. We've got Gambino's album to discuss.
That's true. Okay, and Clemens' album of the year contender so far.
Yeah, it is. It is really. I wouldn't say it's not my album. My album of the year contender so far is definitely Brent Faiyaz. That EP is still on repeat. It's too hard. Sugar by Meg Thee Stallion. It was an okay effort. I think all of that kind of stuff that she was doing surrounding the album with her contracts and stuff, I thought he would have got more sales, but he only got 4K, so I don't really know what's going on over there. My Turn by Lil Baby. Sick again. Love Lil Baby. He's doing really well in the charts. All the best success for him. I want him to live his best life. Industry Games by Chica. I actually don't know who this is. So, yeah. Industry Game by Chica.
I don't actually know who this is either. But I listened to a few songs on it and I was like, okay, it's alright. So I just thought, recommendation of new music. Like, I need to listen to it in more detail, but
we also Boss Man by Rich the Kid as well came out. I don't really know what else I've got on here. I don't know any other ones, so just moving quickly into singles. We've got the Sugar remix by Brockhampton featuring Dua Lipa, Ryan Bay. Gotta give it a bean, ain't listened to it. Don't really feel for Dua Lipa, so I ain't really gonna listen to the remix.
Dua Lipa, not Dua Lipa.
I don't really care what her name is in it, man. Don't care. Like,
I don't care about Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa's doing good things for British women in that area of music. And also, to be fair, Brockhampton got her on this single because she's killing America, and they basically jumped on the back of her by the looks of it.
I don't even know what Brockhampton's doing anymore, man. I'm just not interested in them as
jumping on the back of
I'm
Dua
just
Lipa.
not interested in them as a group anymore at all. Like, there's no interest for me with Brockhampton anymore. No.
The Sugar remix, to be fair, let me give you, it's basically like a different song. The chorus is the same, but it's a different song. It's a good remix. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Ryan Beatty anyway, and he's a frequent collaborator with Brockhampton. But to see him include someone like Dua Lipa was interesting and good. Maybe they're taking it a more poppy route, but it was a nice remix, and it does mean that maybe some more music's coming in the future, which it just goes to show where Brockhampton went, man. I for one don't like the field. I don't like the direction they've gone into since they've signed, and I think it's whack. I think it's played out. So it is what it is. I don't think they're gonna really hold their weight like I expected them to in the future. It doesn't seem like it. So we'll see what's gonna happen to them. You seem to really still enjoy them, so we'll see. I think a lot of people still enjoy them on a poppy level.
Their fan base is
too
fickle though. That's the problem. They've got a very fickle fan base where they pander to them, and that's their problem. That's what happens when you pander to a fan base like that. But I'll leave it at that, innit? Oprah's Bank Account by Lil Yachty, DaBaby and Drake. Real fun song. I ain't got nothing else to say about it. It's just a fun song, innit? The video was funny as well. That's about it. Toxic by Kehlani. Yeah, Toxic by Kehlani, and it's Kehlani, and it's just doing her. Wait to Say When / Chicago Freestyle by Drake. Drake coming out again with two more impressive songs. When to Say When, that samples Jay-Z Song Cry. He filmed the video outside of Jay-Z's Marcy Projects where he grew up, and then he did Chicago Freestyle, which samples a brand new artist called Giveon. So go check Giveon out. He's really cool. He's got like quite a unique voice. It sounds a little bit like Sampha, but not like Sampha at the same time. It's a bit weird. Yeah, those two songs are really great. The video is great. Both out on SoundCloud now with brackets saying Leaks 2020. So I like that Drake is kind of leaking his own, like his music gets leaked, so then he just leaks his own music anyway on the SoundCloud. So I feel like it's just him trying to be self-aware. It's Drake. He's the #1 artist in the world. It's just like he's just got his palm and everything in it. Like he just knows what's good. So yeah. So quickly we're just gonna move into, because we don't have much information on this, but it was a little bit like a world premiere, like breaking news just before we did the show. Childish Gambino has a brand new album out that is live streaming currently.
Donald Glover.
Did I say Childish Gambino?
Yeah.
But hey, but how I say in the notes? In the notes you put new Gambino live stream. I don't know what to call him anymore. I'm guessing he's going by Donald Glover now for good, because it's called Donald Glover Presents. That is what the website is called.
But he can't because he's released Feel Like Summer, which is playing in this live stream under the moniker of Childish Gambino. You can't just re-release a song with a different name. I mean, you can.
Well, you can do what he likes. It's his own IP, but like Donald Glover Presents.com.
This also is not Donald Glover music. This is Childish Gambino, the last Childish Gambino album music. We have Algorithm in the stream. We have Feels Like Summer. We have songs that reference Gambino stuff. We have songs that reference Guava Island.
We have, what we know so far, only 2 features, which is 21 Savage and Ariana Grande.
I'm pretty sure that this is... Well, I mean, I'm not pretty sure. I'm 100% sure it is the album.
I think it's not going to be the album. I think there's a little bit more to it. I think there's another project I think there's more to it. Because...
that links to the artwork.
Yeah.
That he has on the website.
Yeah, because... if you notice that artwork, what it says 1 at the top of it. So there could be 4 projects coming out.
Well, it says cover. One of them's the cover.
One of them's cover, and then it has like that's another thing as well. Like, we can't even really show anyone, but like, wish we could. Like, there's like a massive overarching album art on the website, and it has different elements to it. And also, you can type a message and enter it, but we don't currently know where these messages are going to.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we don't know what is happening to these messages. I don't know if
no, it doesn't go anywhere.
It just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I've looked at the code.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Like the action on the form is just a hashtag, which means that it doesn't do anything.
So what's the point?
It's just a way of having it look interactive. But there could be a point where they update that website where it does or whatever. But
there has got to be some kind of function. There's no point somebody would just have
no, there's no function.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no point that they would just put that. They would allow that to happen on the website though. Like, I just think that there's obviously going to be some type of update, just like how the Childish Gambino script because the internet that got updated over time, and once people unlocked the song, and then like we got the secret song for 3005, and how he used to update his Deep Web Tour blog. Do you remember that back in the day? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that used to have updates on it and little things that were missing from the site, and people was looking into the code and stuff like that. So I feel like the same thing is happening here with that website, where you typing in something will initiate something. Maybe whatever you type appears on the album art. I don't know. That's a good thing.
No, it doesn't.
No. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it could. Whatever the update could be. I feel like there is going to be a purpose for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point not to put.
I think it might just be to write a message and feel like you're sending it somewhere. I don't know.
But what does that?
I don't know. I can't tell you what the.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like there's no point of that. Like, why would they do that?
But I can confirm to you that it doesn't go anywhere. As of me speaking right now.
All right, cool.
Because if they update that website and then the show goes live and it does, then I look like a complete idiot.
Well, as of now, nothing goes anywhere according to Tom. He looked into the code, so you can take his word from it as of now. But if it does in the future, it don't matter.
You can easily do it yourself. As of now, the live stream is actually down, so it's gone.
Okay. All right. Well,
so as of now,
there is no.
The website is being updated.
There is no site at the moment, which means something's happening. Then great.
As of now, you can't type anything either. There's no typing thing. So
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
There is no body.
We'll leave it at that then. Anyway, yeah. Well, this was
interesting.
This was show 53, and it's been great. So we had a few debates here and there, a few discussions. Obviously, amongst the panic and everything, everyone just take some time out, chill out. As I said, try and work on a hobby, try and play some games out the backlog, listen to some new music, draw. Think of a business plan. I don't know, just do something. While we got this
draw.
I don't know, do something. Like just do something constructive while we might have some of this mandatory time off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we never know when we were gonna get this opportunity again. So yeah.
That's a good point. YOLO.
So yeah, let's get it. And also
let's get hashtag YOLO trending on Twitter.
No, let's not get hashtag YOLO trending on Twitter. Yeah, and as I said before, obviously, people just keep safe and just, have regard for people and in this time, innit? And just don't be an idiot on the internet, especially around this time. So,
yeah, wash your hands, shower every day. Don't be nasty.
Yeah, just don't be nasty. No, I can't stress. Please don't be nasty. Like you just please.
Even if there's not a global pandemic on,
just don't be. Yeah, just don't be nasty either way. Just wash yourself. Like you should be washing yourself. Like, just oh my god. Like I couldn't believe the amount of like the way how like soap and stuff was selling. I was thinking, did people not have soap in their house before? Like Jesus Christ. Like I'm out of this anyway, man. Well, anyway. Follow us on our socials, weekly playlist every week. You know what's good, man. We're still holding you down for the pandemic.
We'll still be here and watch the throne.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Watch the throne.
Now it makes sense.
'808s and Joysticks with Tom Stone and Tyrell Haywood Brown.